There we go. If you have any questions about the School of Information, please reach out. I'm the technical lead here, and joining us shortly will be Ryan, the design lead. He is in the midst of an exam right now.
I believe he actually just joined.
Oh, look at that timing.
Himself, there he is.
You want to give a quick intro, Ryan? Go for it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan. I'm the design lead, and I don't know what's been said so far, so we're about to have a good time.
That's fair.
Love it. We like to adapt on the fly over here at Google DSC. Awesome. And we actually do have a special guest tonight, Ali Hassan. He is actually the DSC lead at Quest Nawabshah in Pakistan. And he's going to give a short introduction about himself, kind of the stuff that he's doing over there with Google DSC and, maybe sharing a little bit about his experience. So Ali, feel free to take it away. Oh, did he leave? Uh-oh, he was just here.
Did he? He did.
Give us 1 second. Oh, I hope his internet didn't crash. His screen was looking kind of fuzzy. Okay. We will continue on, and if he hops back on, we will let him do his thing. But for now, yeah. Okay. For now, we'll move on, but he's really awesome. He's doing some really cool stuff over there. And kind of the reason why we wanted to show you guys this is to show you that this effort of, Developer Student Club is something that is worldwide. So being here today, you guys are actually being part of a larger problem. You're being a part of a larger community, right? And so it's super exciting that everyone here today is interested in participating and learning, because some of these things that we're going to tackle today are super exciting, and we're all super excited to see what you guys are going to do with it. Okay, cool. All right, so now I actually will hand it over to Ryan, who will screen share and then take it away from here.
I gotta pull up the presentation. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. There was a question in the chat, or here. For anyone who is wondering if they can do a recording on their end, the answer is yes, but we actually will be posting this recording in our Google Drive, so everyone will have access to it afterwards.
All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So to set up the Cloud Study Jam, we have to do this 9-step process, which seems a little daunting, but it's not too bad. So right now, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to leave these steps on screen for a little bit, and everyone can go and try to go through these steps. And at any point you have any question, just ask it out loud or in chat, and we'll make sure everyone's set up.
And if need be, we can step through on the screen, and I dropped a screenshot specifically of these instructions that people can open. But if everything goes smoothly, we will not need to do that.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, if it's too complicated, we'll go through it.
Awesome.
I have the link and code in chat too, if you just want to copy and paste from there too.
And I will continue the music. The sound quality is not going to be as good, unfortunately, but. Someone asked a great question in the chat.
Why are we doing this in incognito? The way that Google's basically giving us some of its access to its resources just for today. And so they link it with your account temporarily, basically. So it's a lot easier. Everything goes more smoothly. It's more uniform if everyone's in incognito.
And also just like the main reason is I don't know if anyone has a Quickie Labs account already, but we don't want like, I don't know, we just don't want people using their Quickie Labs account already. We just want like a fresh start.
Yeah.
If you did it for, if you didn't do it in incognito and you don't have any problems, then it's okay. But if you do it in not incognito and you have problems, you should redo it with incognito.
Storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah. No, I don't want to waste what's left. And we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And
Edwin, can you hear me? Hello.
Is he back?
Sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, there was some bit technical problem. So
yeah, no problem.
Just
so
go back to the.
Yeah, so everyone's actually filling out the registration right now. So
Okay.
I think what we can do is we can leave this slide up for anyone to kind of do it in the background. Do you want to essentially give your short presentation on this slide right here?
Yeah.
Got you.
So
yeah, feel free to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about DSC Quest. Everyone's really excited to hear about it.
Okay, fine. So hello everyone, and good morning from Pakistan. And it's really very early morning here. And thanks to Edwin for collaborating with developer student Club Quest Nawabshah, Pakistan. And my name is Ali, and I am DSC lead at Quest University, Nawabshah, Pakistan. And it is actually a technical and engineering university in Pakistan. And I would like to share how we are running the DSC chapter in our community and what type of events we are doing right now. We have around like 42 DSC chapters in Pakistan. And actually, due to COVID-19, government of Pakistan imposed the lockdown all over the Pakistan. So all the physical activities are converted into virtual, like we are just attending here a virtual event. So till now, we have done 2 events, and this would be the third event with the collaboration of University of Michigan. And the first event we done was the information session, in which we shared that how DSC works, what really DSC is, and what kind of activities can be done from a DSC chapter. And the second event we did was about the Google Cloud, in which we gave the information about how we can get the benefit from Google Cloud, what kind of services we can avail from Google Cloud. And we are planning to organize different workshops and sessions in future, which can be included as the Flutter workshop and the Android Gem. And there is like open source contributions, like how we can use GitHub more efficiently, that people can be beneficial from our site. And I would like to even collaborate with University of Michigan in future as well. Edwin, hope you are listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I want to share is that Developer Student Club is the right platform. Actually, I have seen here is that by joining DAC, you are more capable. You get more skills to show the world, and you can even solve the real world problems with real solution with your team and with your community. You can create a big impact with within your community and internationally. And DAC is the right platform to explore yourself, to explore your community, and to explore your skills, because sometimes we have these skills we don't know. We just need a platform to excel. We just need a platform to show off. So sometimes we are just getting theoretical concepts which doesn't need our product requirements. So the right motto, the right aim of this program is to bridge the gap between theory and practice. And I think by joining DSC, not only a lead, a core team member, even a simple member of DSC is the capable of creating a big impact. Now we have a solution challenge. As you know, everyone, that the what is solution challenge? And solution challenge is the solution of a problem which is like a challenge in your community. Like we have people have lots of challenges in our society we face every day. So by creating the solution of that challenge, it is a solution challenge. So it is really an wonderful opportunity, and DAC as a whole is wonderful opportunity for the students. Google is just making great and good opportunities. Recent, Recently, it has given the opportunity to learn the Google Cloud, how Google Cloud works, and it gave us around 1 month free credits to the students that they can explore that how they can use the Google Cloud to solve the real world problems or make their applications in their site to solve the challenges and problems. So I hope that University of Michigan will be collaborating with us in future as well, and we will be having some more sessions and more workshops at the right time. And I would love to collaborate with the core team member of University of Michigan, and as I am interested in artificial intelligence, and I would be very interested in this session, and looking forward to have some beneficial information from this session. And Edwin, I would request you to kindly give me the LinkedIn contacts of the today's speakers so that I can contact them for my upcoming sessions, so they can speak at my sessions as well. But we should be first negotiating about their times. So the time scheduling will be very important while we both when are collaborating. So I hope that you will be having a good time ahead. And thank you for having me, and thank you for collaborating with me, and thank you for giving me a chance to interact with you people, to contact with you people. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ali. We all
Yeah,
really appreciate you coming here and sharing your experience. I just
yeah,
think it's so inspiring that you're starting this, across the world, and it's super cool for us here in North America to see things that are happening in other parts of the world. So thank you.
I Edwin, I want to say you that apart from DAC, I have some different ideas, like how you can people can be connected with us in different areas as well. Like if we are creating an application, and Android or cross-platform application, we should collaborate with each other. We should share the ideas that how we can contribute to the world. Like students in USA are having a brilliant ideas, having brilliant minds. We people here have brilliant minds, but we need a path, or we need a roadmap to execute our projects. So I think that apart from DSC sessions and workshops, we can collaborate with and other events as well, and in the form of like we should be connecting with each other. My core team will be connected with your core team and discussing that how we can really create the solutions for the challenges.
Absolutely. And I'm sure there are many people right here who are interested in talking with you as well. So if you want, are you comfortable maybe leaving your email in the Zoom chat so that anyone can reach out to you?
Okay, yes, I am giving my email and they can.
Awesome. So yeah. If anyone is interested in learning more about what Ali is doing over there at DSC Quest in Pakistan, feel free to reach out to him. They're doing a lot of cool stuff. We build a lot of cool things here at Google DSC. And so yeah, once again, thank you so much, Ali. We will move on and continue with the study session, with the Cloud Study Jam. But thank you once again for coming. If everyone could just throw up a clapping hands emoji on Zoom to thank them, that would be amazing.
I would appreciate yourself as well that giving me a time, because I was having a technical problem, so just
yeah, no problem at all. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
So I see there's lots of good questions in the chat. So I think what I'm going to do is go through these 9 steps just so everyone can see it, and then we'll get started. If you need help, you can just let us know out loud. But just to get a feel where everyone is, can people type in the chat just numbers 1 through 9, what step they're on? If you're all done, you can say step 10 or done. Done. Okay, it looks like almost everyone's done. So we're going to go through this pretty fast.
And just to add on before we get started, if you have any questions about registration or anywhere along the process, even if you're a little bit ahead of the live session, DM me in the Zoom chat or just ask the question, because I will be monitoring it to the best of my ability.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to go all through it together. But if you want to go ahead faster than what the group's going at, you can just go ahead and go on your own speed. So I'm just going to run through this and people can just kind of watch what I'm doing if they're stuck on a certain step. I'm in the incognito window and I'm going to scroll down till I find image processing study jam. I'm going to enroll in that. I got to enter the code. What is the code? Right here. I don't see any bicycles.
I was going to say.
This is the hardest part of the lab right here.
Yeah.
All right. So then what you do is you join and enroll this quest. I'm going to sign in with my Google account. Actually, I wonder if this will work because I did this as a test earlier. This might not work for me. I'm going to have to use my main account. Just counted. Okay. All right, so now we should be here. And then, okay, now this is where it's different. I think right here, you should see a enroll button, but because I already did this process, I have an unenroll button right here. So what you do is you click this green button and it'll pull up one of these labs like here. You can just skip this video. And what you're going to do is we just add this step just to make sure, you might have to start the lab and end the lab to get some free credits or a monthly subscription so we can do the lab that we want to do. If you already have this monthly subscription right here and you hit your profile, then you're all good. If you don't see this, you're gonna have to start a lab and then end it. So you get the monthly subscription. Then you're gonna hit this back button. We're gonna look up something like Hello World of Machine Learning or Learning TensorFlow, or just something like this. This is a lab we're doing. And you don't have to hit Start Lab yet. You just have to get to this page and then we're all good.
Excuse me, when I hit the Start Lab, then it is giving me option to launch with 1 credit or launch with excess code.
So you should, right now, did you hit Start Lab for the Learning TensorFlow, the Hello Machine Learning, or for the image processing one?
For image processing one.
Hit pay with 1 credit.
Okay.
So I missed the first 10 minutes, so I don't know if we went over this or not, but by attending this study jam, you should have extra credits. And what these credits allow you to do are do a bunch of these labs. And the lab that we're doing right now is just 1 credit. So if you really like this session with your remaining credits, you can go and do a different lab later. And right now, when you get to this page, you don't want to hit Start Lab because we're going to go through the introduction and what is machine learning. And then when we actually want to create up the virtual machine, start setting everything up, we're going to hit Start Lab. And then Google is going to allow us 40 minutes to use their technologies for free. So now, Isaiah, I can't see, I can pull up the chat. So now what we're going to do is we'll wait just 1 or 2 more minutes for everyone to get to this state, and then we'll start. And
I'm gonna scroll back up to the top so you can see the name.
On our account, we are still getting 9 credits. So is it fine?
Yes,
Yep,
9 credits
okay.
also works.
Okay, either in chat or out loud, can anyone say if they need more time? Okay, I think we're good. Isaiah, when I pull up chat, can you tell that I'm looking at chat on my screen or no?
No.
Okay. So nobody said anything, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So everyone can see my screen, and what we're going to do is go through this together. If we're going too slow, or you just want to do, you're really excited and just want to skip in the lab, feel free to do that. If you get stuck or have a question, ask it in chat. And if you're going along with us, then you can either ask questions in chat or ask them out loud. So here we go, starting the lab. And what we'll do is we'll just let everyone on their own read over the overview, and then we'll jump into the introduction. All right, so now going into the introduction, we're going to get an overview of the problem that we're trying to access. So let's say that you're trying to figure out how somebody is moving. You could just do something like, say, the speed is less than 4, they're walking. And you could extend this to another condition. And you could say that if the speed is under 4, someone's walking, or else they're running. And you could take this even further and say if someone's speed is under the set amount 4, then they're walking. If they're between like 4 and 12, then they're running. If they're over that, then they're biking. But this doesn't consider like every edge case. Like what happens when someone's like golfing? Like if we were to ask someone, what should this else if statement be for golfing? It wouldn't really make sense. So what we're going to do is use machine learning to solve a problem like this. So right now, I'll let everyone quickly read over the what is machine learning, and then we'll go over and talk about what we just read. All right, so just to recap the first couple paragraphs, what we're doing in normal programming is that we give the computer rules and data, and we want it to come out with answers. And this kind of makes sense just for like all programming that we've done so far, besides any machine learning that you might have done. This is how all just basic programming works. But machine learning takes the answers over here and feeds it in over on the input side. We want output rules. So what we do in machine learning is input lots of data and also give it the answers. And we tell the computer that we have all this information and these are the answers. Now come up with a way to like get these answers, the rules. All right, so using this technique, what we can do is once we feed it the model lots of answers and data and we get rules, and something very cool that we can do is we can feed in new data into our model and our model can make predictions. So this is kind of like the heart of like machine learning. And we're gonna do a small example so you can get a better understanding of this concept. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go down into setup and requirements, and we're going to start the process of running some TensorFlow. So I think what we're going to do is go down to Google Cloud Platform console. And what we're going to do is hit the Start Lab button in the top left corner, and we're going to start signing in. So you can either read the information on your screen, or you can just watch me do it and then try to copy what I did. And when you start the lab, it seems like some people have a monthly subscription and some people have 9 credits. If you have the subscription, just click use subscription. If you have the 9 credits, just pay the 1 credit. And basically what you're going to do is sign in with the information that Google gives you on the left-hand side of the screen.
I'm getting a problem. Can you look at it?
Yeah, can you
If you want to
describe your
send a
problem?
screenshot in chat, I can look at it.
Yeah. So I'm clicking on this, then I'm getting this buy credits. I'm using the same account. Should I click on this?
Isaiah, are you looking at her issue?
Did you put the screenshot in chat?
I'm screen sharing.
What?
You have two people screen share in Zoom.
I don't think so. I think I'm seeing your screen, Ryan.
Right now, I just switched back to my TensorFlow.
Yeah, I'm seeing your screen.
Okay. We want everyone to get to this screen. Once everyone's on this screen, then we'll keep going.
I believe I made it so that multiple people can screen share. What you do is you click on view options, and then if you go down to shared screens, you can see your screen.
Ah, got it.
So it prompts me Google couldn't verify this account belongs to you.
You should be able to skip that. Can you click your profile in the upper right, Divya?
Yep.
Monthly subscription. Okay, so can you go back?
Go back.
And try to hit Start Lab.
Yes. Yeah, I've already started lab.
I'm looking at Divya. There's not an option to use her subscription.
Out loud, we'll just help one person at a time, just so it's not confusing.
So there is one option which is that this other 8 credits are for the credits that I got, maybe?
Yeah. No, I think that's another number.
No, because here there is no payment that is required.
Oh, yeah, you could try that. No, that's not what we want.
No, yeah.
Also, what we could do is if this problem persists, we can maybe go into a breakout room if we can't figure this out in like a minute.
Oh, I think I'm working right now. So like as long as I see like oh, you do not have sufficient permission.
Oh, are you not in incognito?
Yeah. Should I go for this now?
Yeah, I would try to do it from incognito.
Okay,
if not, we can put you. I can go into a breakout room with you later.
And Zan, are you still having your problem?
Yes, I think that's because I didn't open it with incognito.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I can hop in a breakout room with you. Here.
Yeah, Edwin, do you mind hopping into a breakout room with the two people that need help? You can help them go through the 9 steps again in incognito mode, and then they can come back once they're back to this step.
Yeah, sure. So who needs help right now? Just raise your hand.
There we go. Divya's should be working now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, solid.
Nice. And perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go, and it's just so we can keep going forward. Edwin, you'll take care of the breakout room.
Yep. Yeah.
And we are going to keep going. So right now we're going to set up a virtual machine And what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow everyone to have like the same set of like libraries installed. We're gonna all start with basically the same computer. So to do this, we have to go to, actually I forgot, I gotta look at this tutorial. Go to the navigation menu on the left, and we go to Compute Engine and Create. So there's actually no create button, but you're gonna wanna hit VM instances.
Actually, Isaiah, I'm recording. Are you able to jump in the breakout room with John?
Isaiah?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, awesome. Let me assign you.
Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're all going to try and make the N1-standard1 machine. So you're going to go down to series, hit N1, and the first one should be the N1 standard 1 machine. You're going to leave everything else the same, go down to the bottom and hit create. And it should take a second, but eventually you'll have a green check mark here. All right. I know some of you probably don't have the green check mark yet, but once you get the green check mark, what you're going to want to do is go to the right-hand side of the screen where it says connect, and we're going to want to click SSH. And this should open a shell that allows you to connect with the virtual machine that we just made.
On Google Cloud, it is saying to me, this is Divya, you don't have permission to view the instances in this project.
What screen are you on right now? Were you on the virtual machine screen, or did you not get that far yet?
Yeah, I can share with you. This is my screen.
Okay, now I have to figure out how I can look at another screen while I keep my screen shared.
I can do it. Let me take a look.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have permission to view the instances in this project. Did you entered the codes and everything at the very beginning, right, Divya? I think you're muted.
Yeah, I just opened Google Console from here. Open Google Console.
Okay.
Edwin, I think what we should do is we should have people that are having problems go into the breakout room. Is there any way we could invite her to the breakout room?
Yeah, let me assign you there.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to interact with our shell a little bit. So what you can see is that we can type in these commands to see if we have Python 3, pip3 in our virtual env. So you can just play around with these commands, see which ones you have, which ones you don't have. If you play around with them, you should see that we all should have the same thing. We should all have Python 3. We should not have pip3 or virtual env. So what we are going to do is we're going to install pip. So all you have to do is go down in the lab where it says install the pip package manager and virtual env, type in those two commands, and we'll install pip. And this should take a little bit of time. All right, once pip is installed, you got to install our virtual ENV, virtual environment. And then once you have both those installed, you should be able to run the same commands that we ran before, like pip3/version -- version. You should see that we have pip installed now. So I am just going to double. Yep. Does someone have a question?
I did. So I don't have like pip3 and virtual ENV, but I have Python 3.
Okay. Yep, that's all good. What you're going to have to do is, can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
You're going to want to run these two commands. This command will allow you to start, well, you should run this command. You should update first, and then what you should do is you should run sudo apt install python3-pip, and this will install pip. And then you can run this command, and you should install your virtual environment. Okay? And then once you do that, you can double check to make sure that you have installed by running the same commands that we ran before. So I'm going to keep going along right now. We'll take a breather once we get to a certain point and make sure everyone's caught up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a new virtual environment. So all you have to do is just copy the command. And then you have to activate the virtual environment, which is just another command that we have right here. I know this is not super exciting right now, but we have to do all this stuff to just get set up for the machine learning stuff. And if you have this little env thing right here in your shell, that means you're all good. So after you activate your virtual environment, you're going to want to upgrade pip. And we can see all of the packages that were installed with the virtual environment. All right. Once we do that, we have to install TensorFlow. So we're getting closer. So just another command. All you have to do is just copy and paste this in. And that might take a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to verify that everyone has TensorFlow. And once we do that, we can start creating our machine learning model.
I'm on the step right after yours, and I was typing in the next command, and it wouldn't let me type anymore after a certain limit of characters, and now it won't let me backspace either. It's just kind of like frozen there.
Okay, can you inside the terminal, can you hit Control-C and see if that does anything?
No, nothing.
All right. Is your screen... So inside your terminal, you can't hit Control-C, right? It's just, it won't allow you to do anything?
Yeah.
All right, we will go to the breakout room, see if Isaiah can help you. If not, feel free to come back and we'll see if we can figure out the issue.
I will hop back into the breakout room.
Okay. Let's see if I get the same error. I'm gonna copy this.
All right, you should be assigned.
Also, I know it says here that the expected output should be this. But if your expected output is not this, it should still work as long as you have TensorFlow. We tested this out. So it's okay if your expected output is not this exactly. So now in the chat, either write done if you have TensorFlow installed, or write not done if you don't have it installed. All right, it looks like everyone's done, or most people are done. So we're gonna keep going. All right. So now we're gonna create our first machine learning model. The first thing we're gonna do is look at this X and Y relationship. So look at these numbers and we're gonna see if there's a relationship between them. I'll give you 20 seconds to see if you can find a relationship between them. All right, so if you're trying to figure it out, you might start here at x equals 0. You see y equals 1. So you might say, okay, it's going to be y equals mx plus 1. And then you see it keeps going up by 3. And you see that these numbers keep going up by 1. So you could say, oh, the relationship might be y equals 3x plus 1. And it says here, that's almost exactly how you use code to train a model. So this is going to be related to the program that we're about to write. So looking at the code used to do it, you see you use data to train the neural network. By feeding it a set of y's and a set of x and a set of y's, you should be able to figure out the relationships. So that's what we're about to do right now. So we're gonna make our script right now. So what you want to do is in the command line, you're gonna want to type nano, and then, what does it want us to call it? Model.py. Now, nano is a way for you to edit text inside of your terminal. And if you are writing to a script that does not exist yet, nano will make it. So right now, there's nothing in our folders and files called model.py, but because we write nano.py, it creates model.py, which is just 100% blank. It's going to allow us to edit things in here. So we're going to have to import a couple things. We're going to have to import TensorFlow because this is the main machine learning library that we're going to use. We're going to have to import a library called NumPy. And NumPy is just a Python library that helps you work with numbers. And we're going to have to input Keras. I don't know if I am saying this correctly, but I'm just going to call it Keras unless someone knows the correct pronunciation. This is a framework for defining neural networks. So what you want to do is they have the code right here. And what this code does is it just imports everything that we need.
Is it okay to like not going through with you?
Is it okay to not go through the video?
You're going so fast.
I'm going too fast? Okay. Yes, I can slow down. We'll take a break for 1 second, help people catch up. And also, I think, Edwin, are you recording this?
Yeah.
Okay. So also something that we can do is if I'm going a little bit too fast, and it's all good, you can try to keep up or just go at your own pace. And if you get stuck, you can watch this video again. So we'll take a little bit of a break right here. And we can also keep in mind that this video is recorded.
And I also do not have any pending questions. So if you want to hop into a breakout room, we can do that too.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we should do that right now and then we can keep going.
Okay, I'll go back into the breakout room.
All right. So we have everything imported. So now we can finally make our neural network. So we're going to create the simplest possible neural network. All it's going to do is have one layer, and that one layer is just going to have one neuron, and the input shape is just going to be one value. And we do that by using this command right here. So you can go back into your model.py and copy and paste this line. What happens when the time runs out? Do you lose your program? We don't think that you lose your program. We think that everything's good as long as you stay logged in. But I think if you end your time and then you log out and then you log back in, you might have to redo all your work. But if that happens for anyone on accident, just let us know. Isaiah can take you into a breakout room and we can catch you up really fast. But I think if the time runs out and you're still just in the middle of your lab, you should be fine. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to write code that compiles the neural network. So to do this, we're going to need two functions, a loss function and an optimizer function. And both these functions are really, really complicated. And I personally do not understand everything about them. And we're not in this quick, just Google Study Jam, we're not going to go into the details. So we're going to learn how to use them, but not exactly what everything happens inside of each of these. Right, is there a question in chat? Okay, let's keep going. So something about this lab here is that right here, there's a typo. It says, you know that in this function, the relationship between the numbers is y equals 2x minus 1. This is just wrong. So what we can do is when we write our machine learning model, we can make sure that this is a typo and that our definition of how these numbers are related are right. So we think it should be 3x plus 1, but Google makes a mistake and says that it's 2x minus 1. That's okay, because if we make our machine learning algorithm right, then we'll see that it's actually 3x plus 1. So what the computer is going to do is it's going to make a guess about the relationship between the x and y numbers. So like maybe a guess is 10x plus 10. And what the loss function is going to do is it's going to measure the difference between the correct answer and the answer that it gave. So remember, if we go all the way back up to the top, we talked about how we're feeding in the data and the answers. So what the program does is it makes a guess and then it looks at the answers and it says, oh, okay, I was this far off. And it accesses how poorly or how good it did. Then what's going to do is it's going to use the optimizer function to make another guess. So based on the result of loss, it will make another guess. And the goal for the optimizer function is to minimize the loss, because the smaller the loss is, that means the closer to the correct answer. So let's say that first guess 10x plus 10, and then it comes up with the second guess is 5x plus 5. And while this is not good, it's closer to the correct result. So the loss will be smaller.
So Ryan, does it mean that we are creating our model so that whenever we give that numbers, it will give that output according to its efficiency? So it's like we are creating our model. It's my question.
Can you ask that question one more time?
Yeah, actually, I'm asking that it's like we are creating our own model, like we are generating a new model.
Yeah. So I guess, yes, we are making our own model.
Okay, fine. That's great. That's interesting one.
Yes. And we're going to repeat this process again and again and again for a number of times that we specify. Now, there's lots of different ways to make your optimizer and loss functions work. But like I said, we're not going to go into the exact details right now, how exactly the loss and optimizer functions work. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell our program to, for loss, use the mean squared error for the optimizer to use the gradient descent algorithm here. What you can do is copy this line into your program. And now we're telling our program that this is how we want our loss and our optimizer functions to work. And over time, as you do more and more machine learning, you'll have a better idea of when to use different algorithms for loss and optimize. So now what we're going to do is we got to feed data into our program. So all we're going to do is we're going to make 2 arrays. And these 2 arrays are given to us right here. And these 2 arrays are the same numbers as these x and y's. And the syntax looks kind of funny with this np.array, but this is just numpy. So we're just making 2 numpy arrays. All right, I'm going to take a break for a second. In the chat, you can either let me know if I think I'm going too fast, too slow, or just the right pace.
And what you guys could do is in the participant window, you guys have buttons. So there's like the gray go slower arrow or the blue go faster arrow. If you guys think we're going too slow, feel free to click that gray arrow. If you think we're going too fast, feel free to click the blue go faster one. If you guys don't choose any, then we'll just assume that we're going at a relatively good speed.
Also, I think the things that we're copy and pasting into our terminal, like the Python, it doesn't really make sense to you. You're not really sure like what it's getting at. You can ask and we can explain what that line means.
Okay, could I say that if MSE is big, then go to gradient descent? Big. I do not know. Is Isaiah in the room? I do not know the answer to this question.
MSE.
So mean squared error
is big, then go to gradient descent. I think, if I'm understanding it right, like the output of loss is like kind of fed into optimizer, and optimizer like makes a new guess that tries to make loss lower. And then the cycle keeps repeating, if that kind of makes sense. And if it doesn't make perfect sense, we're gonna run this and it might make a little bit of more sense.
Yeah, the basic outline is that kind of feedback loop structure. You know, it runs a trial, the loss kind of grades how that iteration went and tells the optimizer, you know, was that a good run? Was that a bad run? And then tries to improve on the next guess.
All right. So now we're going to train the neural network. So I'll just read this paragraph out loud. So to train the neural network, to learn the relationship between the x and the y's, you step it through a loop. Make a guess, measure how good or bad it is, aka the loss, use the optimizer to make another guess, etc. And we got to do this for a certain amount of times. So this sentence kind of just summarizes everything that we were just talking about with the loss and the optimizer. So all we have to do is use the model.fit function. And the model.fit function takes in 3 parameters. It's our, well, we're giving it 3 parameters. It's going to be our X array, our Y array, and we're going to tell it how many times to run. And you can change this number around, but we're going to have it as 500. So we're going to say, do this 500 times. So now this is a good checkpoint. It says your model.py should look like this. So if you messed up something along the way and you got lost, what you can do right now is you can delete all of your model.py, copy and paste this in, and you'll be all caught up with us. Now, if at any point, for some reason, you accidentally lose all your code or everything, all you have to do is go down to this box, and this will give you most of the, or this is all the code that we have written so far. Yes. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tell Nano we're done with this file for now. And yeah, what you're going to do is hit Control X, and then it's going to say, do you want to save what you did? And I'm going to hit Y for yes. And then once we did that, you're going to hit Enter. And now model.py is saved. And what you can do is type in the command ls. And what this will do is it'll look through the contents of your current folder and it will print any of the contents or any files you have in the folder. So if I write ls, I see that I have my model.py right here. So now what we have to do is we have to run our script. So we're going to run what we just wrote. To run it, pretty easy. All you have to do is we're going to run it with Python. Is it Python 3 or Python? Just Python. And then we are going to type in model.py to tell Python what file we're using. Just a quick tip is you can type in part of the file that you want and then you hit tab and it will finish the rest of the file name. So I am going to run our model right now. And it ran. So we can see the 500 times that it ran. So this was the first time. And what we can do is we can look at our loss function. Actually, I'll give it a run like 1 minute just to look at what their output produced. All right. So when I look through mine, and mine might be slightly different than yours, everyone's might be slightly different from each other. I look at the first run, I see our loss function at a value of 116. That's pretty big. But then over time, the loss function keeps going down and down and down. And by, I don't know, I'd say around maybe 50 to 100 times, our loss function is really small. And as we keep going down through all the iterations, our loss function gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And we can see that our machine learning model is getting better and better and better with every single time that we run it. Until all the way down, when we go through all 500, we see that the loss is really, really small, which is really, really good because we want the loss to be really small because that means that the model's prediction is really close to the actual correct answer. So what you can do is on your own time, if you want to, you can try messing around with different numbers. You can say, what happens if I only run this 10 times? Or what happens if I run this 1,000 times? You can look at the loss function and see the rate of change and see what happens. But now we actually want to use the model. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our file. So to do that, you just want to type in nano.py, nano space model.py, and you'll see that we have our file again. And what we want to do now is we actually want to use our model to predict something. So if you copy the line that says add the following code to the end of the script, you will see that we are using our model to predict 10. So we fed it a bunch of X, we fed it a bunch of Y values, and we said train this 500 times. And given these X value, given the X value of 10, what should Y be? That's what we're doing here with the model.predict. Now remember, nowhere in here do we say that the equation should be Y equals 3X plus 1. We're just letting the model figure it out. So after we do this model.fit, we're going to print out the machine, the algorithm's prediction for 10. So what I'm going to do to save what I just wrote is I'm going to hit Control X to exit out, Y to save changes, Enter to get back to the terminal. And then by hitting up twice on my keyboard, you get the most recent command I typed in. I'm going to run the model again. And we see that our model guessed that for X value of 10, that it thinks that we should get a Y value of 30.9999907. And we know, since the model or the equation is 3x plus 1, that did a really, really good job of getting really, really close to the number that was correct. So while everyone's either catching up, or if you're a little bit, you can catch up right now, or if you're a little bit ahead, I recommend reading what I have highlighted on the screen right now. It's under the using the model, under the 4th step, a really good question answer. All right. And then after we read this paragraph, and once everyone's caught up, you're basically done with this study jam. And I think something really good to get out of the study jam is now that you have like a skeleton of like a framework for an actual real machine learning model. So this model is really, really simple. Like we said, it's like the hello world of machine learning. But we want to pick something that everyone, no one even heard of machine learning before today, could jump in and write some actual machine learning model. So you can copy and paste this or save this, and you can expand upon this model and make some really cool machine learning algorithms. And on top of that, if you thought this lab was exciting or cool, then you have either a monthly subscription or 9 credits. I don't know why some people have some and other people have the other. I think it's just based off of how people signed up. But anyways, however you did that, you have more credits to spend on these quickie labs, so you can learn something else. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And Isaiah, if you want to say anything, just jump in.
Yeah, for sure. Just going a little bit off of the extensions, machine learning, although this is a very simple intro, it's similar to recursion in that it's a new way to think about solving problems. So the goal of this lab is obviously to get the bare bones of how to do it, but then to get you thinking about other applications of this and to have this kind of problem solving mindset in the back of your head when you're going about whatever programming issues you are. So just start thinking about whatever problems you've tried to solve with traditional programming might be easier. Not always, obviously different paradigms and problem solving methods apply to different things. So obviously it'll take some trial and error. Some more on resources to keep going. Yeah, looks like Kevin dropped the install for TensorFlow on your own machine because you don't need to do it in a virtual machine. That's just a good way to standardize it for everyone. And then I'm also going to put a link that will be in the slides too, but it's basically Google's crash course on machine learning to go a little more in depth than a 1 hour-ish lab. And other than that, I'm just going to drop a feedback form in the chat because this is our first study jam. This is the first time we've done this. So any feedback will be anonymous and also appreciated.
Yes, these things are meant to be done in person. I wish they'd be run better, but we're trying our best to do this on Zoom. So if anyone has any feedback, just let us know. If you thought it was great and thought everything was perfect, let us know. If you thought everything was terrible and you would never come back, let us know. We just want to know the truth.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Really quick before everyone leaves, I want to talk about first DSC. So if you are new to Google DSC, this is your first event, you've never heard of us before seeing the flyer, feel free to join our community. We have a couple of QR codes here, a couple of links for you guys to join. The one on the very left is going to be the important one. That's how you signed up. Most likely you probably have already joined this one, but if you haven't, please go ahead and do that. Make sure to join our GitHub and Slack as well. One thing I want to clarify, a lot of questions we get is, is there an application process to join Google DSC? Is there any sort of recruitment? And the answer is no. Google DSC is an open community. We encourage as many people from all different backgrounds to come join us as possible. So please do not feel that, especially if this lab today was challenging to you in terms of understanding, please do not feel hesitant about joining the organization, because we really want to work with you. So if you found this was hard, please reach out, ask us questions. That's what we're here for. I believe, so before I actually get to the thank you, one question that was brought up, and I think people might be curious about, is about badges. So Google has these skill badges that they have that you can complete and then put on your resume, your portfolio, whatever have you. And so really quick, going back to the first URL that we went to, you'll see that there are some Google Cloud skill badges up here at the very top. Using the credits that you've gotten, most of you should be able to complete some of these skill badges on your own time. For example, one that you might be interested in right now is this badge right here on the very bottom, called Foundational Data, ML and AI. Or on the bottom right, we have Explore Machine Learning Models with Explainable AI. So there are a lot of badges that you can actually get that Google provides. And because you came today, you should have either a 30-day pass or some credits to do these badges on your own. We will actually be hosting future sessions, which hopefully we can work through some of these badges together and maybe get you guys some of these things that you can put and display to future companies, future networks that you'll be talking to. And finally, at the very bottom here, if you go back to where you started at the very beginning, you can actually go back to the lab that we just did. So you can redo the lab that we just did by looking it up in the search bar, which I actually think you have to enter one of these to find the search bar. But click into any of these, get the search bar. You can go back to the lab we just did, or you can complete other labs that may or may not be on the same track, which can get you at the very end, will get you the fundamentals that you need to earn a badge. So to get kind of the skill badges I just talked about, these labs right here, these like quests that they call, are meant to teach you, give you the skills that you need to complete the badges. So because you guys attended this, you currently have the tools that you need to at least get started, play around with it. But the reason why we're here and that we didn't just hand this to you is because we want to be a point of contact for you. So if you have questions, you're confused on where to start, first thing I would do is hit us up in the Slack. I believe someone is sending a new Slack link in the chat. So feel free to drop a question in Slack. We will put our email there. So the second method you can communicate us is through email. Feel free to do that. And lastly, we will stick on here for a little bit longer afterwards if you guys have more questions as well. And I think that should cover it. Cool. All right. Is there anything else, Isaiah and Ryan? You guys did fantastic, by the way. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
Last thing, just want to highlight the importance of these kind of activities and these technologies. Companies everywhere are transitioning to cloud computing and modern strategies, machine learning and the like. So technologies like this, although, this right now is a basic understanding, this is what you're going to be asked about in interviews, in recruiting season, stuff like that. So the more you know, the more you can equip yourself and be ready. At least knowing the words, knowing the basics of the technology will be a great help to all of you. That's it for me.
All right. I know everyone's busy, so thank you for coming, everybody. And thank you for everyone else for helping run this.
Yeah. Have a great one, guys. Hope you guys had fun, learned something. Good luck on all your classes.
See you later.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, do I need to delete the instance?